Ever played a game where you're trying to get away from the cops in a vehicle and it just doesn't feel right? The first person view, third person view is a good view if you want control of your vehicle and you want to see where you're going, but you can't see the cops unless you lose a bit of that control and you look backwards. That doesn't even look that cinematic. This is Pako 2, which is an isometric cop chasing simulator, a getaway driver heist game. This one gives you a different perspective on the cop chasing you, the whole scene. Instead of having the view focused on where you're going to, it focuses more on your relationship with the cops. So it's more of a bird's eye point of view, so you can more easily dodge them when you are going slow, not just fast and ahead of you. This leads to a lot of memorable gaming moments, just driving around car parks, avoiding them, just reversing, doing donuts or whatever, just scenes like that. And there's still a lot which this game has going on in its favour, such as car physics, different handling vehicles, explosions and smoke, which is usually ignored in this type of art style, and also dust and dirt which just kicks up behind the car when you go off-road with it. That's really satisfying to me. It looks more like a wild car chase. And with this isometric view, polygon vector kind of style, it's pretty easy to see what's going on. You can see the pathways in the dirt, roads stand out clearly, there's not too much crap lying around, so you should find it pretty easy to drive where you want without getting very confused. You can use either the keyboard or the controller for this. It's weird because for these types of games, I like using a keyboard. I know the controller can help you feel a bit more realistic, I guess, but it's just like my favorite game of all time, Altitude, and a game I played last year, Absolute Drift, where I got a top-down view of a car and I just had to drift around all these obstacles. Just that feeling you get on the keyboard, I find it more precise, and I like that kind of control fighting with the keys instead of an analog stick. It just makes it feel, I don't know, it just feels better to me. The sound is not great, but what do you expect from an indie developer? These indie developers don't have a lot of money to get realistic car sound from cars themselves, which is like clear and precise audio. So all their vehicles usually sound similar. And I didn't really like the music in this game. I don't know what you call this genre. It's just not my type of thing. When I played this game, I would usually turn off the music entirely and just play with the car sounds. It was kind of I don't know, relaxing with that weird car sound and just driving around, you know? It's not like you're going through a ton of gears all the time. It was just a nice soothing car sound. Now in this video I'm only showing you the Martins Valley map. I don't know if there are other maps. Because this game is hard. You go around picking up all these people, all these heists, it's like there's only one getaway driver in this city or this town. And they've all booked you for this certain time slot. And you gotta do it all in one life, which is really hard when the physics system is a bit, well, I guess it's realistic, which is the frustrating thing about this. Because a cop car can run into you and you'll blow up. That part's not realistic, but the damage system is kind of. Like you can't take too much damage before your car gets on fire. And it's just when you deliver someone from a heist and you turn around, you run straight into a cop. And with this type of view, that feels unfair. You can sometimes do a jump off of something which looks very obviously like a ramp, such as a big cliff before a river, which is actually unobjective in this map. But a lot of the time if you do a jump, you're gonna get damage for it. So it's like you're kind of punished for it, where you can try and make this as cinematic as possible, try and escape the cops in a cool way, but really the game just tries to force you to stick to the ground. I know that's more realistic, but it would be nice if it was a bit more friendly towards jumps, because jumps are awesome. I like the controls for the handbrake here, which lets you turn around a corner quickly or spin around fast, but I'm kind of punished when I use it to go the other way instead of just driving in a fairly straightforward direction most of the time. I do like the map though. I think it has some good variety, not just with the roads and the locations where you have to pick up all the people from and drop them off at, but I'm liking the off-road areas. It's not just obvious dirt road leads to this objective or this pathway goes to this other road, there's some freedom there. So if you are kind of bumped off the road a bit, you can drive around in the dirt for a bit just to avoid the cops from hitting you a little bit. The map is fun. I don't know if there are more maps though. They could be fun. Seems too hard for me. Pako 2 also has a bunch of cars you can buy, but the money you earn by picking up people and delivering them to the hideout, you can actually use. You can use it to upgrade your car, you can make it faster or improve its armor or handling, or you can try and save it and buy a new car. And there's a little Datsun, a pickup ute truck, some sports car, a big muscle car and things. That's cool, but they're all really expensive. The game is $5, which I think is pretty good value, but I've played the game for 3 hours and I haven't been able to pass this mission. The game is selling for $5, which I think is a pretty good value, but I've played the game for 2 hours and I haven't been able to pass this one map. And I haven't earned enough money to buy a new car as well. So I think it has good value for money for $5, but I think it's more like one of those cow clicker games, which it just puts some lofty goal there for you. In this case, variety with the cars, and you just have to repeat the same actions over and over again just to try and get it. I would expect that for a larger game with more content in it and a variety of different maps, but just being stuck in this one map, those prices seem a bit too high. It may just be me with the tactics, because I have heard that the best way to finish this game is by going slow, so slow and steady. With these type of police chases, I've tried it, it's just not fun for me. And I like slowing down in games. I love looking through environments, exploring and things like that, but this game is about cars and cop chases. This is the type of game where you can recreate scenes just driving around a parking lot full of cop cars from Blues Brothers, or have moments like Gone in 60 Seconds. It's just a hard game. You get damaged very easily, and there's even a gun combat system in this where you can use the mouse if you're on the keyboard or the other analog stick on the controller to shoot at the cops, but they can do it to you as well. That feels very unfair because if you slow down a bit too much, you take a corner too slow, they're gonna shoot at you and destroy your car. It's I think that's a bit too much for the difficulty, and I honestly really didn't like the gun combat. I just wanted to play this game with one hand, just left hand using the controller and right hand just chilling, have a drink or something. I was immersed in the handling of the car, and I can't say that for many games because that's why I like using the controller for certain car games. This game has a really responsive car, and that's a good thing. That's the best thing about this game. What I did find a bit weird about this developer was that they released Pako 1 earlier this year, and Pako 2 has come out now, like not even 6 months later. It's a bit weird, not many developers do that, but these days you have to make a release, or you have to make expansions or DLC to get on the Steam's front page. So I'm not sure exactly why, but I think it's something that we should all expect in the future by indie developers, and big developers as well, I guess. Look at Hitman and the Telltale games. So Pako 2 is a lot of fun. It's $5. I complained about it a bit. I found it a lot of fun. I don't know if the developer is planning on Pako 3 in another 5 or 6 months time, but this is good value. It probably doesn't need to be in early access, and I think it's a clever perspective on the whole heist and cop chasing mechanic. So let me know what you think about the game. I did this video in post commentary because I can't play a driving game and, you know, make sense with what I say at the same time. I struggle with that just doing it in post. So if you like this, if it was more clearer for you or something, just let me know and I'll keep doing it, and hope to see you in the next one.